All right, here we go for game 4. We said that the coaches should be spending all of their efforts on planning for game 4 because no matter what, you're going to have to plan around it, right? You either lose, you get here, you have to figure out the adaptations. We see Silas, again, a nod to Chovy, Rakan and Yone, and then we give up Zaya, Renata, and Jax, all right? Seemingly, this is what they're going to always be banning against it. They are really afraid of Elk's Zaya. They don't want to give the peel for Renata, and Jax just has to be taken away from Bin. So we get Jarvan answered by Rumble Vi. Nice combination for the two of them. Nico and Cassante coming out from BLG. Means that we get Akali from Chovy. So we do get to see Akali's Chovy. He's saying, nope, I'm putting this into my hands. We're going to make it about me. I'm going to outplay my way to get back into this tournament. All right, here we go. Game 4. We see Silas, Rakan, Yone, and Zaya, Renata, and Jax biting the dust. A lot of it targeted at players. Chovy still comes out of it with a melee to fight with to try to carry this game. We have Jarvan into the Rumble Vi. That favors Rumble. When they get Jarvan and you get Rumble, you always win for every Cataclysm that gets cast. We have Nico and Cassante, so playing for the top side of the map, answered by Akali. Akali's going to look to get early Merc Treads and then try to withstand the pressure of the Nico. We'll see whether or not they're able to make some of those broken plays. Honestly, I expected this champion to be turned off after what Caps did, exploiting it in the last series that G2 got to play. Second round of bans, we have Caitlyn Aphelios and then Kaisa Nautilus saying, no, we want to scrap. We want to make this about a coming in fight. Which is sort of interesting because you give up R4 Kalista. Now, this is very late in a draft for Kalista to still be around. And the fact that they took away Caitlyn and Aphelios means that they're very happy to play this in. Now, they did leave Zeri around, which is something Elk has shown mastery on the champion, but they haven't shown that they're willing to play it in this tournament. Tom Kench and Ashe is the answer. I do love seeing Ashe. I don't really like the pairing with Tom Kench. And that means that we have Rel to bring it all together. So a lot of good team fighting, vacuum everybody in. The all-in is there. When GenG goes to fight, it is going to be fight to the death. They're not trying to get out of any fights. Rumble damage, Kalista damage, Rel, Vi. Everything is meant about continuing that. Whereas you have Tom Kench and Cassante trying to peel off, create some differences, try to create some windows for the Ashe. Ashe is an immobile carry playing against Akali Vi. Could be a little bit of a nightmare, not to mention this bot lane. So GenG finally getting a great draft for themselves. Surprised that they were given this tool of the Kalista. Looking at the bans here, very surprised that we saw Nautilus giving up the Kalista and no real great answer. Once Kalista gets on top of this Ashe, it's going to be lights out. So we'll see whether or not BLG is able to fight back from those positions. All right, we've been talking about all the adaptations that could come about pretending to be carries in the mid lane and whether or not we will ever actually get just a carry coming up here. Yigao keeping his fingers warm, practicing and becoming all of the different champions. Moves up, you see Delight grabbing the little ward. This is something you want to do when you want to fight for prio in the first wave. You have to play aggressively against Ashe and with Ashe. If Ashe gets to play aggressively and stack her Q up, then she can win. She's the highest threat carry in the entire game. We've not seen anybody willing to do that. They've always come out with the W, and they've tried to split for the wave. But the moment that W goes on cooldown, Kalista can go all in. In solo queue, you can go and you can stand in this bush and you can sit there and hover, 7 seconds of your recall before putting a ward in here. Obviously, you don't get to get your sweeping lens anymore off of that play, so instead, Rel just comes over, drops the ward real quickly, and comes over to re-establish themselves, or at least get a little bit of vision of the invade. Finally, we get a little bit more action on level 1. We see a defensive ward that is not spotted. That is very important that it doesn't get spotted. So BLG does not know that they know, right? And Tom Kench has the sweeping lens, so they're anticipating that they have a good idea whether or not they're seen on this. So GenG will be able to use that to their advantage. We'll see what Peanut is able to do. He is the best jungler in the world at creative paths. He and Blabber kind of changed the metagame for the entire world as far as what you can expect from early games. Peanut's going red using Smite to get there quickly. Spend more time as a level 2 champion means you're a higher threat. You can kill the camps easier. Looks like we're going to get Krugs into red, probably into Raptors, but we'll see whether or not she just goes into an invade. We see a ward being dropped around blue. So now, only now, well, actually, they don't know that this ward sees them, but now you get complete confirmation here as GenG that Jarvan is taking your full side here and that you are weak side. You're playing weak side as Rel Kalista. So you do take away a lot of her advantages by putting her on the weak side. She cannot go in for a fight. You don't have any idea of what is coming. But now Chovy combining this ward with this one means that they're able to catch Jarvan moving back to their camps. Now Vi has not really gotten anything extra done. I'm very surprised by this low tempo play. Is going to opt to put a ward to protect herself here and to cycle back. All right, we're talking about ingenuity, some innovation, some ingenuity on what might be happening. It looks like we're seeing a wave pushed in. They see Jarvan path again from Raptors to bot, so they know that this is going to be a dive. Vi is going to take advantage by taking the entire western quadrant. This will be the only advantage she can claim for herself, is an extra 2 camps. Jarvan did not even take the red buff here. This is a little bit too early, Gen, for this play. And in fact, Rumble does him a huge favor. All right, there's some pros and cons to this. We're going to talk about the cons. First off, you stopped the TP, meaning that you still have a Rumble in your lane, and now you're stuck with a Rumble in your lane. Also, it means that you didn't get Rumble to teleport to the wrong side of the map, which he then would have immediately had to recall and come back. A little bit of a misplay. You want them to take aggro before you generate that teleport. Now, that being said, the fact that aggro had not been drawn and the play was not 100% means you can actually let them teleport. You can go ahead and let them have that, and then you can create exactly the wave state you want. You can punish the Rumble for 3 entire waves by pulling a freeze there, having it sit back into you. Probably not going to have enough pressure as this early game Cassante to try to get any amount of meaningful plate advantage. Although you could try to stack a triple stacked wave, push it in and get the plate, and then go for a recall, but that somewhat coincides with Rumble arriving in the lane again. So check out this play again. We look at it. Here's where you go. They're baiting there. All right. It looked like On was trying to cast the Q, and it looks like he waited for that moment and they said now, because it looked like it was the Q animation, but it was really just the auto attack. So you come out here, no extra foul. Now, Cassante can actually just let this go. This wave, you could let this happen. In fact, you could even teleport bot and help to clean up this play, and then this wave will be sitting for you. Even better option for Cassante would be just let this sit for you. Instead, by canceling it, now you're going to be stuck in a situation with Vi where you're the weak side player. You actually wanted to get out of this. All right. That said, you've committed to that now. It reestablishes the ability for your team to go for the dive. And if you're ever going to play to be strong against Pays, against his Kalista, this is the best way to do it. Punish his level 2. You've already pushed in the 4th wave, so you're talking about level 3 spikes for everybody. You've got a significant combat advantage for this fight. They do end up getting it for themselves. Jarvan misses the EQ flash. All right, Pays is able to dodge right there, but it's not enough for everyone to get out. Now they go for a little bit of a tap and they go back, but it means that you have to deal with everybody taking your camps. Vi takes all the rest of the camps and is able to come back for her own respawns on Wolves and Gromp. So yes, you get that kill, but that's the extent of it. And now you have Kalista playing strong side again because Vi is now on this side of the map. And if Jarvan continues down here, this is his first spawn on his camp. So we're talking about level 1 camps. Now you're coming over, Vi's here ready to defend. You can't snowball this matchup anymore. Peanut's actually trying to hold position. We see Q flash into Kalista, Vi to continue. That's going to be the end of the fight. And you see what happens. And now what does BLG have left for themselves? Time is up. Got the shield. A little bit early on the shield and a little bit early on the jukes. Could have saved the shield. Could have used it in response to Q3. To get that extra little move speed to dodge. Ends up not doing it for himself. BLG gets it. What I was saying about Jarvan. What was Jarvan supposed to get after that? After that play goes awry, the fact that you've vertical chungled into your own Raptors and then come back around, only taken red and Krugs, and then you're trying to do it again, but Vi now has the level advantage on you. You have very few camps you can take. Even going to the other side, there's no blue buff waiting for you. So there's so much advantage for GenG coming out of that situation. That said, BLG sticking to this play. A big miss by Yagao using his ultimate and flash, and it's not enough to beat the blast cone. They're able to get Pays. They're going to enjoy that part. Pays tried to jump over that wall, couldn't quite do it. So we've got a topsy-turvy game. Again, could be nerves, right? These guys you want to be a little bit agitated. You want to care. You want to perform your best. You don't want to be on this roller coaster where you're just up at 7,000 RPMs for this entire match, right? You need to be able to come down all of these moments. Take a deep breath. Hold it for 4 seconds, let it out. That moment, you can breathe that energy into your body wherever you're feeling tight, wherever you're feeling nervous, whatever kind of emotion you're feeling. It looks like Yigao maybe was trying to flash onto the blast cone to try to take that similar angle, but was just too late for it. Couldn't get it. So they do get the kill on Callista. They do miss the kill. Yigao's flash is down. This is a point of potential weakness, especially now that Akali has 7 and her ultimate available. She is going to be looking for kills here. Level 7 being hit by Nico, going to feel a little bit more comfortable. Bin having the solo kill against Rumble, not something that you don't normally get. Now, I have to say, for everything that Gen got back for themselves by Vi taking that path early, they didn't use Vi Rumble up in the top lane to be as aggressive. And seemingly Bin just completely discounted the chance of her being there at all, right? Continued to play aggressively. It wasn't until after Vi that moved over here that he really knew that he could take everything for himself. That is sort of the glory of Casante's level 3 through 5. He's just, such a big lane bully in those situations, but could have gotten some more. So if I had to choose the opportunity cost, do I try to get Rumble ahead, or do I try to salvage the bot lane situation? Turning that bot lane and turning all of Jarvan's efforts upside down certainly has a prolonged effect, but they also missed out on the chance to do that to Bin, right? All right, this is a little bit overeager. Going up, Casante has first push. He's going to be at first over. We'll see how the rotations are going. Normally, Callista, like Senna, is a champion that you want to get into these fights because you want to carry these fights, but it looks like there's no contestation, so she's going back to the bot lane. Ashe getting a lot of time to create the wave state that she wants. She'll be able to get a lot of harass. Like we said, Ashe wants to play aggressively. You want to get all that poke on, get all the extra slows. Once you can stack up the Q, she is deadly. We see that everything in the kit is based around getting that early. Berserker Greaves into recurve bow, saying we want to get this. Hold on, they say we've got an opening for ourselves. Rel is going to use the Callista engage plus her own stun. One begets the other. Tahm Kench is trying to get them out. Going to use the extra move speed, spit them out. The spears get unstuck. That's the end of the play. Ash Arrow being used as well means that you will be able to claim an advantage right here. When Delight does hit 6, they took that fight not having the 6 spike, perhaps expecting it to come in the middle of the fight. One of the tricks you can do on Callista is to get spears into a minion that is going to die. Then you start the fight. Then you use your E to rend those, kill the minion, get the slow on the target that you're going for, and then you'll get the cooldown reduction on the E from the reset. Anyways, Delight will come over, hover for a moment, wants desperately to get one melee, just one minion more to get level 6. You'd really like to have it before you get back on the map, but anywhere that you go, you just hover for a moment, you'll hit level 6. But they still have knowledge that she's not 6 here, potentially a window that they could go for. This ward might even do it. That ward was literally the level 6 diff. A little bit of a bailout there for Rel. 600 gold advantage. Is it really markedly in the inventories though? Berserker Greaves are even. We've got 1250 being used here. 14, so a little bit more for Ashe. Ashe is going to have plenty of threat, although Callista's still feeling fine. If Ashe can get to 7 first though, she'll be happy with that extra advantage. Get the extra cooldowns on the W. Jarvan is on a better 2 items than Vi. And Cassante is feeling pretty good in the top lane. So it's going to come down. They do have a meaningful advantage for themselves. BLG actually gets, or I should say Yagao. Nico gets a little bit too far, tries to go for the counter engage against Akali's ultimate by using her own, and Chovy just dances around that, gets to the outside. Cassante is trying to play a peeling role as they go for Dragon, so they're trading Dragon for plate. Now,
If you're Doran, you have to recognize this. All right, he does. He steps back, says, I'm going to go for a teleport. I actually want to clear this up as a fight. But right now, just throw it. You should throw it. 100% throw that ultimate right along that line. That corridor would have dealt 600 damage to all of those champions. And that's it. That's all you needed to do, right? There's nothing else to fight for. There's no Herald. There's nothing. Your ultimate will be back up. So an absolute missed opportunity there from the Rumble. Now, the fact that he still has it and the fact that Bin just teleported bot means that they might just go for this. Okay, now they can go for the advantage. Rumble's trying to take aggro, but he's out of range. You see the all out, takes a big chunk, steps out and flashes Vi with a beautiful Q flash to close that out, and they get the kill for themselves. Also using the Herald to draw a significant portion of that aggro means that Kalista now has another play to herself. A little bit overeager on that teleport. Your entire team just, waltzed out of here. You gave up your entire presence on the bot half of the maps. Teleporting to that wave was ambitious. So Bin's ambitious play means that the gold lead actually catapults into the favor of GenG. 1k advantage, and importantly, Kalista's approaching that completed item, right? If she can down this turret, she's really trying to look for it. If she can get this down, she's going to be very happy. She'll have that completed Blade of the Rune King. We anticipate. Could be a little short. Depends on how many cannons. Probably has all of them. Didn't get the plate for herself. So it doesn't have the difference. Didn't think it was worth stretching out for it. The team didn't want to hover there any longer. Goes in, buys a significant upgrade. Now it does have a stats up on the Ashe. Ashe is investing in some extra pushing power, whereas we have extra combat power here with the Vamp Scepter. So we'll see whether or not they're able to take this for themselves. They definitely have a damage lead. Kalista will win this 1v1 if they are left alone. They'll also win the 2v2. And very much Tahm Kench will just have to disengage, right? If you see all the all-in going onto Ashe, for that reason, they might go for damage first onto Tahm Kench. Or they might just look to put spears into him and start working forward. All right, Vi cycling back, has the Divine Sunderer. Jarvan has the Gore Drinker, but Vi's also able to pick up Ruby Crystal, finish the Merc Treads, and has the Control Ward. So she's got a big advantage for herself. That's coming off the back of the Herald. Plus the dive there onto Bin. Has that kill for themselves. Jarvan's going to be looking to try to call that even soon. We're also going to get Rocket Belt soon, if not right now. Should be Rocket Belt plus some for Akali. Last person to join the fray is going to be this Demonic Embrace on Rumble, opting to go for the defensive itemization. We talk about this, right? Modal items, speed is offensive, and the stats are defensive. It makes it a very good item where you can play two-directional, play offense or defense. Rumble's going to be looking to find that Demonic Embrace soon. Will make it much easier to get the push off and feel tanky and allow it so that one harpoon can be significant damage into the tanks. Both solo laners hit 11, so we might see some proactivity here from BLG. Chovy's trying to challenge it. Absolutely, you like Akali into Ashe matchup. I like that they're using the sweeper into the second half of that, but Rel finds the engage. This is a beautiful window. Chovy still has ultimate, can hit multiple people and land the E, but might say that they're too low to set this up for themselves. E's back, but it doesn't actually hit Tahm Kench, so Tom is going to flash forward and look for his play, cancels one of his autos, means that Q is not a stun. That's got to feel really bad. Forces Sun to use his flash and the Cataclysm to get forward, so now they might be a little bit weak. The call from GenG should be that you're relatively strong here. Lots of cooldowns being used. Ashe ult being used. Jarvan. Oh, you know what? Jarvan did not use Kim. That's got to be a visual bug. This is the second time we've seen it. But you know what? Kalista ult, Rel ult, Vi ult all being down means that they just have to accept the L instead. Dragon spawning in 30 seconds. You will have Akali back up for that. She also has teleport, so you may see them move over to the top lane. I expect to see Akali in top. You're also going to put Kalista in mid. Post 14 minutes, of course, you're going to have this battle right here. These two are going after each other. Now here we go. People are rotating over. What ended up happening with the rest of the abilities? This 2v1, Tahm Kench, Guardian is down.
See the Ash Arrow being used. Rel with a beautiful disengage right there, but unable to block the arrows. Now, I'm very, very surprised right here. Peanut could have felt strong, could have engaged into them, perhaps didn't want to get the turnaround. Ollie's actually rotating over, not wanting to give away that it's on a teleport. Picks up the wave, goes over, gets another couple wards. They want this pocket of strength right there for themselves. They want to know that they can rotate through that area very cleanly. That opens the door for plays onto Cassante, or opens the door for Akali to get back to the team. Now, Cassante also has very comfortable wards. This covers against any sort of dashing over this wall or going through here. So only way through would be to get into this wall, dash over, and then go this way. It is worth noting, that is a lot of work to do that, but it is possible. And anytime that you're playing against these teams, you're looking at where do they tend to get their wards down, and what are the exploiting patterns to get to it. All right, blue control ward is in the most important bush, but they have no one in position, so they're going to just give up this dragon. Proactive play there by GenG to grab themselves this tool. Not much cost coming for BLG, though. See whether or not they try to get mid-prio off of this play. Normally, what you want to do is hold this area, stop them from rotating in from the dragon, and you try to get at least 50% of this turret's health down, and that's exactly what they do. They use the Rift Herald to get the rest. So they say, congratulations on the dragon. We're going to get permanent map pressure, and this is going to alleviate so much of the pressure in top lane. In fact, we might even make a play on Akali. 3 people rotating over, including Nico. Ash Arrow hits. Now they know where that is. Nico moves over. They get the Pop Blossom. That moves up. They get all the chain CC. Now they can even face tank this with the wave coming up. Take this down. So beautiful proactive movement, but good answer from Doran. 2 options there from the top laner. You can either try to teleport to a ward and try to throw the red carpet out as a protective zoning tool. But that's a very defensive play. You tend to want to be the ones making proactive plays. So he goes and gets himself a wave instead. No matter what, you were going to lose the Akali. The question was how much damage you were going to deal back and whether or not your team could get anything for it. The fact that you get this bot lane tier 2 means that you have permanent pressure on the map, but it also does mean that it's a spot, especially with this turret being low health, that you can actually stack this wave on your side of the map. Just hold the wave, grab the aggro for a moment, put 1 Q into the minion wave, and clear the backline, right? Any combination of that will allow you to create a slow push, and then you can go help your team siege for the Baron. Now, it is 19 minutes into the game. We're slightly before, right? We see this timer is still not there. So Cassante's feeling like, okay, I can go push it. But you see the downside of that. That means Rumble's going to just go pick up this wave for themselves. Now, catching up on the action on screen, you see everyone's fighting over this area. They want to protect this avenue. If you are GenG, you'd love to get a ward like right here, another one right here, maybe another in the wave. Try to create this sort of line, Orion's belt. Very hard to keep that line though, and you tend to want to spread your wards out more against the nerfed sweeping lens. Make it so that they have to use 2 activations to get them down. Now, everything is available. Flash from Akali is the only thing that's missing. Actually, we're missing Rumble ult as well. Did you just use it to catch that wave? That's cutting it close, Rumble. Doran, I understand what you're trying to do, and you're maybe trying to move quickly to get through it, but Baron's up. Now, a super sneaky thing you can do. Don't recommend it unless you have the entire game script. You know exactly what's going to be playing out. You can use your ultimate, something like Rumble. You can take 2 camps in the jungle. And you can lay out the red carpet as you're moving one camp to the other. And in theory, they don't know that you've done that. So they still think that you have it, but your team needs to be on the same page, right? Your team needs to know that you're waiting for 45 seconds anyways. Right? And then you can buy yourself enough time. You create that extra source of income for yourself. You've got an extra 200 gold. You go out, push out the next wave, and you come back and you have this sort of situation where the ultimate's coming back up, no harm, no foul. But if enemy team does realize that you've used that tool, then you're in for a world of hurt. I think what Rumble's deciding is, hey, I need my gold quick. I'm really close to this spike. I want to have it. I want 1 minute for the respawn to come back, and I can get back to the team. But you see that allows BLG to get some amount of priority in the river. It means that they get a pick onto Vi. Flash forward from Yagao is very, very aggressive. Hold on, Chovy's trying to outplay everybody. Uses E over the wall and R2. They do get the teleport here, but now significant chunks are gone. 3 ultimates are gone. Vi is gone. You have no jungler, so BLG has the inside track for this. We'll see whether or not we get any contestation. There's no Rumble ult. You have Nico pretending to recall here to get more space for yourself. Look at the battle lines. Cassante with 2 flankers, Nico and Tahm Kench, and then you put your carries in the back. Jarvan can instantly access this fight. They actually get Delight up front. They get a second kill. They pull off the Baron. They still get here. They've got 5,400 health. Chovy will not have his ultimate, but if they can spend another 20 seconds, Rumble will have his. They say, no, we can't do it. We have to get out. And BLG has a massive advantage now for themselves. 3k gold. They get the extra 1,500 from killing the Baron, plus the half level of experience. Will give them a huge springboard into the end game here. So Peanut dashing into that wall. We talked about, multiple step processes where you might use a Q into here and try to hold that area, but the team was not ready for it. And they were not ready for the answer of all 4 champions being there to punish the face check. I'm surprised that she wasn't able to get anything off as it like an ultimate, try to create extra space for yourself that way. Look at this battle line. Beautiful position. You see this front to back. You chop up. Rel is trying to buffer it by getting an engage going forward, but still big chunks of damage going there. Tahm Kench more than happy to sacrifice his life for the team. Now BLG gets to be back on the map. They've got advantages across the board. We're going to see a PD, Phantom Dancer, come out from Ashe to amplify her ability to kite. The crit chance turning into extra slow, the extra movement speed on every attack, meaning she's going to feel real good about this. Yagao being caught out by Peanut here. Beautifully done by Akali. You use the R to get in so that your E can slide, and not only that, but it gets you out of the Pop Blossom range, which means that you're able to consolidate the kill for yourself. So GenG gets a major, major asset killing Yagao. That said, 2 ultimates are used on the top side. Are they going to be able to create some pressure for themselves? You have to have a little ticking time bomb right here. 22 seconds. All right. This stage in the game, this part in the map, you see that Rel actually finds the great engage to go forward. Kalista trying to be used against Tahm Kench, saying, okay, you can scoop someone up. Well, I can scoop someone up too, and I'll throw them on top of you anyways. GenG able to collapse on the 3 stack and able to get this kill. BLG giving them the opening. And this has become a very tense situation. And in fact, what is BLG going to do coming out of this situation? You've got standing gold on the map. Kalista picks up that outer turret in the mid lane. You also got this flank. You're going to have staggered deaths here from the Cassante. I mean, once the raid boss goes down, I'll say, okay, raid boss is finally down. Now Cassante's dead for an extra 46 seconds. What's your team going to get done? You don't have your front line. You're going to have to make some kind of proactive play with Jarvan, Ashe, Nico. But do you really want to do that when you don't have anyone to follow up the fight? And that took long enough as well. Beautiful Rumble. Putting across, making sure to hit the Jarvan as well. It means that when Jarvan tries to peel, you get to chew him up. Tahm Kench was not able to get the Ashe far enough away. They get that kill for themselves. I mean, this is a delayed ace. That's a beautiful situation to be in. And they needed that. They needed that. They were losing this game. Yagao overstepping in the top lane, and then the fact that the team stepped up long enough to get engaged on as a 3 stack, you have to be so very careful, right? Because their 3 could be there. Their 3v3 is still going to be mostly competent, right? The lower the numbers are, the more likely it is that they can turn a fight even if they're down. Higher numbers means you've got more people with more gold, more people hitting spells. You're more likely to be able to close the door, or even if one person dies, you're doing so much damage on the other side. If it's 3v3, and importantly, if their 4th and 5th member can join up for the fight, then you're going to be in trouble. We see another engage, Tahm Kench being a liability again, stepping up, just dying for free. This is why we don't like Tahm Kench on support economy. Yagao tries to flash into the whole team. The carries are able to step to the outside. This balloon is popping, and you're just getting explosive effects out of this. Staggered deaths again. Nico will be dead. They haven't had 5 people on the map for the past 3 minutes. GenG is going to grab this game, and now they've got the bull by the horns. They went from a significant gold deficit to a significant gold lead. I can't keep up with all the things that BLG is trying to do here, right? Like, what, you're trying to step up for a Q poke while Elk is in a super dangerous position. You've got this huge long wall at Ash's back. Means that she's a prime target for being engaged on. You cannot step up here to go for this harass as Tahm Kench. You have to be willing to step back and pull the Ashe away by stepping up. You know, that's something you can do as Senna Kench, because you've got Senna at your back, and Senna, you know, can pretend to be a support. Heal you, give you the invisibility, root people that are jumping over you. You know, she's got way more tools, and you're much tankier because you're on the farming economy. You can't do that when you're the support, Tahm Kench. All right, we'll catch our breath, take stock of what's going on. We've got 3K to the advantage of GenG, 2 dragons apiece, next dragon spawning. We've actually got Baron spawning at the exact same time. So we have a fork play available. GenG has the lead, all right? 2.5 items across the board. They've got the stopwatch in inventory as well. So they're much closer to 3 items than we have any from here. Ashe is going to be the closest. She's been dutifully farming. She's the one person who hasn't had those like staggered deaths, only dying in the big team fights. Again, being Ashe, an immobile carry, once you've lost members, that's a big problem for an Ashe. We're going to see line of scrimmage being drawn around the mid lane. Vi and Akali have very nice flanking positions. We'll see whether or not Zun tries to open the window here. No, this is big miscommunication. That was the window. Jarvan uses his EQ to clear vision right as they're going in, which means that we get beautiful upfront damage from the Rumble. Everyone's going in. Stopwatch advantages are being noted. Here we go. Pays is just carrying this fight, flying around the fight, flashing forward. You got to have a little bit of crazy if you're going to be a carry. You get the Zonias, means the Ren comes out and they get wiped. That has to do, it was bad luck. This was not something that they timed. Those spells got cast at the same time. J4 jumped in with his EQ as the engage was coming in over that position. You have to be way more judicious with your spell usage. That little combo, that ability to not be able to peel anybody and to not have your E or your Q down to shred armor or buff attack speed means that you have serious problems going into that fight. BLG tried their best to move their fight towards the Jarvan, but it's just too little too late. Rumble rocking 11 assists because of this Night Harvester and Demonic Embrace, just ripping through the damage. He's also going to pick up Zonias for himself. Beautiful engage right there. Rumble ultimate on top of Rel ultimate means you have everybody in place. Yigao peeling 2, but it's not before they're going completely busted in the fight. Pays going after Tahm Kench is a little bit surprising right there. Right, you could have spent more time on the people who actually matter. That guy's not going to do anything for you. So a little bit of, you know, even in those moments, things you can do a little bit better. But still, big sigh of relief. All right, you see what Peanut did there? Guys, that is so important. I'm going to bring this back. This is how important this is. Big fight. Everything good. Look at this. Deep breath. Nice. All right. And that's what you go. Let these guys cheer. They should still be thinking about what game 5 is looking like. But if you're Peanut, if you're a member in this team, this is what you do. Okay. Take a deep breath and you replace all stress responses, whether or not it's high stress, low stress, bad stress, good stress. You do not want to be riding this roller coaster going up and down. Big moment happens. You take a deep breath. Nice. All right, let's go. And you refocus. Yeah, and you continue to see what's the next right play. I love this moment. Thank you to the camera for giving us that. And you have that moment, you still see that like agitation's still pretty high. He's still like unsure about, man, it's crazy. Like you have these ticks and he has absolved most of them, 99%. That you've done the best that you can do. You take that deep breath for yourself, you catch your breath, you're back in base. All right, let's go. So, clutch. And knowing that you have at least one person who's on that mental level, I'm starting to think that GenG is going to look good going into game 5 and certainly coming out of this game. They've got a commanding lead now. Third dragon in tow. They've got the Baron buff for another minute 45. They've got more than enough time to destroy 2 structures. You see Akali moving through the mid lane. That's because she's super mobile. Rumble might be someone that you... Okay, look at this permanent root there. That is 6 seconds of root right there. My goodness. What did that? I mean, I'm sure we're going to get a replay. 6 seconds was an exaggeration, but you saw that he was there forever. Where are the other roots coming from? Stun, stun, root, stun, knock up, stun, stun with knockups. Where did that much root come from? I don't know. It is an empowered Nico E, right? So you have extra effect when you're passing it through any targets. It does have that extra duration on it, but that felt like it was longer than just that window. All right, Doran. Okay, knock up, stun, stunned. The E pass through, 30-31. Then he overheated himself, and he laid down the red carpet anyways. Okay, so he had some damage coming back. Would have preferred it to be slightly like along this angle so that you have more threat from these carries going forward so they can punish this a little bit more. But, yeah, just beautifully layered chain CC here. Look at this. From 30-28, from the moment of the knock-up. Rooted means he gets a couple spells off. 8 seconds. This guy was not able to input a move command for 8 seconds, guys. And then, you know, that's kind of a testament to this. Do you need to swap out these plated steel caps? Because, you know, they might have been good for this lane phase here, but look at the tremendous amount of crowd control that can lock you up. 8 seconds of lockdown, guys. That's insane. All right, we get back out onto the map. We'll see if GenG can shake it off. You do have level 16 ultimates coming from across the board on the carries. Ashe is way behind, Jarvan way behind as well. So still a huge combat advantage to GenG on top of the money in the inventory. Vi gets the Guardian Angel. She's going to be engaging. Jarvan, same thing. They're going to be diving into the middle of these fights. That's why they pick up GA. I prefer it on these champions. I know the carries want it because all the attention goes on to them. But if you can create spacing in a fight like this, then you absolutely prefer it. Now, in a game like this, different from last time, now you've got Vi, right? Vi can target you out and find you from long distance and say, no, we're starting this fight on you, and we can layer Rumble on top of it. You can even do Akali R1 on a random target and then use her Shroud and then use R2 to execute. So they do have the capacity to get onto you much more significantly this game. That being said, something like Edge of Night might give you more combat power. It's worth noting. It's worth thinking about what might come out from these sorts of fights and what's going to happen, who's tasked with getting on top of you. And even more so, looking at the other side, Jarvan can never hold down Kalista. Nico can, but needs to expend flash. So if Kalista can save her flash for that one, as long as she doesn't get hit by an Ashe arrow, she's good, right? This Kalista should have way more uptime in fights. We'll see whether or not that ends up playing out. We haven't made any progress here. A little bit concerning for GenG. Unless they're just playing around spikes. We have this 10 stack Dark Seal. Now, this is what I prefer to see. I saw a lot of Void Staffs being completed, especially in the early phases of the tournament. Lightning Jewel is the important part of that item. Void Staff does not give you meaningful AP differential. Getting the Lightning Jewel is a significant upgrade to your damage because you're ignoring so much of the resistances. You don't need to get the rest of the Void Staff this early, right? Now you can go and get Void Staff now that we're 33 in the game. But when we're talking about second and third items, the amount of Syndras that we saw with first item Leandries into second item Void Staff, it's just like, this is not the damage profile that you can go for, especially when you get something like Merc Treads, right? Sometimes we saw Lucid Boots as well. Just not nearly enough damage. When you go for that, Lightning Jewel is more than enough. It turns on the rest of the shred that you have, and then you can turn it into the Void Staff. That is how you get the most bang for your buck as the game continues. Speaking of bang for a buck, by putting everything into this fight. Elixirs are on tap. Baron is up. It makes a lot of sense, right? Anytime that you have coincided spawns like this, it's all about this fight, because winning one fight necessarily means you win the other. So if you go for this dragon and you win this fight, then you go for Baron. If I'm BLG, I'm fighting for mid, I'm holding this line of scrimmage, and then I'm actually going to the Baron and just trying to put up defenses in this area. Instead, it looks like they're trying to go. This is a little bit of a mistake. Now they're stepping up, they're fighting for the wave, but Delight sees it, finds the opening, goes in. Chovy's got an engage window right here, but does get the shroud off. There's not much continuation. Yagao trying to flash into everybody, but whiffs. Everybody flashes away to dodge around from that spell, and we see a wipe in the fight. Kallista's just carrying this thing. Peanut's going to be fast enough to look for this continuation. You do see the W to hold down, make sure that you can't get hit, but Vi's happy enough to go in. Now be careful. That is an all-out Cassante. You have just enough stats. Playing with the limits of everything he's got to survive that. And GenG's going to take it. The crowd's going nuts. All right, let's talk about mindsets. You've won this game. Congratulations. Monumental victory. Bring yourself back down. All right? Establish expectations. All right, we did what we came to do. We forced a game 5. This is what we wanted. Now it's our opportunity to go and win. But we need to go play well. We need to be ourselves. You don't want to be on that emotional roller coaster of, oh, we're doing it, the crowd's going crazy, oh, I can do this and go for this play. That's when the mistakes creep in. You have to be very, very careful about that. If you're BLG on the other side, it's okay. We still have a game. We're still at the same position where if we win one more game, we win. Lock it up. Do the best that you can. Play the best champions you can. Play the best sequences you can. Make the next right play. Play after play. Just keep on doing the best thing available over and over. Don't try to think about the results. What happens if I lose, right? You can't be thinking. Stay present. Stay on the task at hand. The team that is able to do that better is going to win game 5.